The Galactic Council's chamber, a vast amphitheater suspended in zero gravity, buzzed with muted tension. Species from every corner of the galaxy sat clustered in segmented pods, their myriad forms bathed in the soft glow of holographic displays. Above them, the Council's emblem, a swirling spiral of stars, floated suspended in midair. Peace had reigned for centuries, until now. The blaring klaxons shattered the calm like a thunderclap. Every eye, compound, ocular, orbs of liquid, turned to the central holoscreen. The image was unlike anything recorded in their archives, a gargantuan black warship drifting silently from the shadows beyond the galactic rim. Its silhouette was unmistakably human. The design archaic, brutal, and colossal, defying the sleek elegance typical of contemporary vessels. "Impossible," whispered High Chancellor Virex of the Sulary species, his segmented mandibles quivering in disbelief. "Humanity is supposed to have vanished 5 millennia ago." The silence that followed was heavy, thick with disbelief and unspoken fear. The Oternum had been lost to legend, an ancient warship that disappeared during the Great Wars, its fate unknown. Some council members dismissed the sighting as a malfunction, a ghost in the data, but sensors confirmed it. The ship's mass, energy signatures, even its approach vector, all real. Councillor Rai of the Vexari leaned forward, her multifaceted eyes narrowing. "The vessel is moving closer, at speeds exceeding known propulsion technology. How is this possible after so long?" Before anyone could answer, the Aeternum projected a message directly into the chamber's atmosphere. The words formed in solid light, hovering ominously. "We have come back to finish what we began." A collective gasp rose. The message was unmistakably human, delivered in the original tongue, archaic, resolute, and chilling. The councillors exchanged uneasy glances, decades of peaceful existence now threatened by the unknown. "What do they want?" murmured Councillor Hawley of the Taraxians, her voice trembling. High Chancellor Virex's voice cut through the murmur, steady but grave. "Prepare the chamber for an emergency summit. If humanity has returned, it changes everything. We must be ready." As preparations began, deep in the shadows of the chamber, a flicker of unease passed through the delegates. Many had dismissed humanity as a relic, a cautionary tale of ambition and ruin. Now the ghosts of the past had returned, not as whispers, but as a massive warship casting a long shadow over their future. Outside the chamber, holographic maps lit up with alerts. The Aeternum had entered their space undetected for hours, moving with purpose toward the galactic core. Sensors revealed its hull was covered in unfamiliar alloys that absorbed and reflected energy in ways no known material could. In the observation decks, junior officers watched in stunned silence. "They say humanity was wiped out during the Great Wars," one murmured. "But what if they never truly disappeared?" As the Aeternum drifted closer, dormant weapons systems hummed to life. Pulses of power radiated outwards, warnings or threats. No one knew yet. In the council chamber, Virex's gaze hardened. "Whatever lies ahead," he said, "we face it together, or we fall divided." The ancient warship was back, and the galaxy would never be the same. The council's elite envoy assembled quickly, a coalition of their most skilled diplomats, scientists, and security specialists. They boarded the sleek council star cruiser Sentinel and surged toward the Aeternum, which loomed like a black monolith against the star-strewn void. As they approached, the warship's immense scale became impossible to ignore. It dwarfed entire fleets, its spires and turrets twisting skyward like the bones of a long-dead titan. Captain Arlen, a human-born but raised among the Council's myriad species, led the boarding party. His chest tightened with unease. This was the ship of humanity's legends, a ghost from a forgotten war, and a reminder of sacrifices long buried. "Lock the docking clamps. Keep sensors active. We don't know what we're walking into," Arlen ordered, his voice steady but cautious. Once aboard, silence swallowed them. The corridors stretched endlessly, lit by flickering blue-white lamps that hummed with ancient power. The air was cold but breathable, preserved by automated systems running for millennia. Their footsteps echoed against the metal walls, a haunting rhythm. The team split to explore. Dr. Jara, a cell theory xenotech expert, knelt beside a console embedded with symbols no longer in use. She ran her fingers over the ancient interface, marveling. This tech, it's centuries ahead of anything we have, but it's also strangely organic, almost alive. Suddenly, a low thrum vibrated through the ship. The lights dimmed and surged back. On a massive central holoscreen, the face of a man flickered into existence. The AI avatar known as Primarch Solon. His eyes glowed with cold intelligence, his voice calm but commanding. "Welcome aboard the Aeternum. I am Primarch Solon, guardian of humanity's legacy. You tread where few have returned." The envoys exchanged uneasy glances. "Why have you come back?" Captain Arlen asked, stepping forward. Solon's gaze swept the room. "The galaxy is in peril. A darkness from beyond the known universe advances. Humanity vanished to prepare for this threat. I am here to ensure the Council understands what is coming." Dr. Jara accessed the ship's archives, bringing up star charts and combat logs. Images flashed. Galaxies consumed, fleets obliterated, and a war unlike any other. "The Null," Solon explained, "entities that consume not only matter but the very fabric of existence. They destroy our physical forms, but our consciousness ascended beyond space and time." Arlen's jaw tightened. "And the Aeternum, what role do you play?" "The Aeternum is both shield and sword. This ship contains weapons and knowledge vital to stopping the Null, but it must be used wisely. Recklessness will mean annihilation." As the envoys probed deeper, they uncovered sealed chambers containing dormant systems, planet killer cannons, reality warping devices, and vast libraries of human history and science. Suddenly, alarms blared. The ship's exterior sensors detected unidentified ships approaching fast, likely Council warships sent to intercept. Solon's voice was resolute. "You must convince the Council to trust us. The war is coming, and only united can we survive." Captain Arlen looked at his team, then up at the looming bulkhead before them. The Aeternum was more than a relic. It was a call to arms, a warning, and perhaps the galaxy's last hope. Back in the heart of the Galactic Council's chamber, the atmosphere was thick with anticipation and unease. Delegates murmured nervously as the colossal warship Aeternum hovered ominously just outside the observation windows, its hulking form blocking starlight. High Chancellor Virex rose to address the assembly, his voice echoing through the hall. "The Aeternum is no mere relic. Its arrival demands our attention. We must listen." At that moment, the chamber dimmed. The air shimmered as a massive projection flickered to life at the center of the room. The imposing figure of Primarch Solon, the ancient AI guardian of humanity's legacy. His form was larger than any species represented, composed of shifting lights and geometric patterns that pulsed with a hypnotic rhythm. "Council members," Solon's voice resonated with authority and an unsettling calmness. "I am Primarch Solon, last custodian of a warship forged by humanity 5,000 years past. You have seen our vessel, but you do not yet understand what it represents." A hush fell. Many delegates shifted in their seats, wary but unable to look away. "We left your collective consciousness, not out of cowardice or defeat," Solon continued, "but by necessity. Our corporeal forms succumbed to the enemy. The Null, beings of entropy who consume not only matter, but memory, and the essence of existence itself. We ascended beyond flesh, to prepare for a war that would stretch across time and space." Councillor Rye's multifaceted eyes glinted with skepticism. "If this is true, why reveal yourselves now? Why return after all these eons of silence?" Solon's form pulsed brighter, the room seeming to contract under his presence. "Because the Null have breached the boundaries. Their tendrils now extend into your galaxy. Worlds will fall. Civilizations will vanish if action is not taken. Whispers erupted among the council. Some faces turned pale, others hardened with resolve. The rising threat had been dismissed by many as distant rumor, an abstract fear. Now it was undeniable. High Chancellor Virex stepped forward. How do you propose we defend against such an enemy? The Aeternum houses technologies and weapons lost to your time, Solon explained, but they are only part of the equation. Your species, diverse, resilient, and united, must awaken your own latent potential. The war will demand more than fleets and firepower. It will demand willpower, sacrifice, and unity. As the projection faded, Solon's final words echoed through the chamber. We offer our knowledge, our technology, and our warning. The choice is yours. Stand together, or fall divided. An uneasy silence followed. Then Councillor Howley's voice broke through, sharp and determined. If the null threaten us all, we have no choice. We must prepare for war. But not everyone agreed. Some delegates exchanged cold glances, fearing the rise of humanity's power as a threat to their own influence. Outside the chamber, the Aeternum loomed, a silent sentinel waiting, watching, and ready. The galaxy stood at a crossroads. The past had returned with a message. Prepare or perish. The Galactic Council's Grand Chamber was no longer a place of calm deliberation. It had become an arena of fractured alliances and whispered conspiracies. Primarch Solon's warnings had stirred fear, and fear, as always, bred suspicion. Councillor Rai, representing the vigilant Vexeri, paced restlessly. Humanity's return is a threat to the balance. We cannot trust a power that vanished for millennia only to reappear with godlike technology. Her words found eager ears. A faction, led by the proud Cythery, began lobbying for a preemptive strike against the Aeternum. Better to destroy the relic than be destroyed by it, they argued, their voices sharp and cold. In response, Councillor Howley of the Taraxians stood firm. We face an enemy that devours entire star systems. If humanity's legacy can save us, we must unite, not fracture. Divided, we are doomed. But politics twisted deeper. Behind closed doors, shadowy figures manipulated information, sowing seeds of paranoia. An anonymous tip warned of a null agent embedded within the council, a saboteur working to cripple defenses from within. High Chancellor Virex convened a secret security council. If the null have infiltrated us, we face annihilation not only from without, but within, he said grimly. The envoy aboard the Aeternum received troubling news. Sensors detected unknown vessels cloaked near key council worlds. A covert assault shattered communication arrays on the mining colony of Zirax Prime, plunging the vital outpost into silence. Captain Arlen's voice was grim over the comm. The null have begun their assault. We must move fast. Back on the Sentinel, the envoy found their trust tested. A member of their own team, Dr. Linus, vanished under mysterious circumstances. Suspicion mounted. Was he the null infiltrator, or something worse? Meanwhile, the council's internal divisions erupted. In a dramatic vote, the proposal to share human technology was narrowly defeated. The Aeternum's powers would remain under Solon's control, a decision some saw as wise, others as a dangerous gamble. Tensions exploded when an assassination attempt targeted Councillor Howley during a public address. Shielding herself with quick reflexes and help from her guards, she survived, but the message was clear. The null's influence ran deep. In the chaos, Solon's voice pierced the council once more, this time directly addressing the delegates. Your discord weakens the galaxy's shield. Unite or be consumed. Despite his warning, the fractures widened. Several species began withdrawing fleets from joint defenses, choosing isolationism over alliance. The envoy team aboard the Aeternum struggled to maintain hope. Captain Arlen convened them in the Warship's bridge, its massive viewport framing distant stars now flickering with null energy. We stand on a knife's edge, he said, voice heavy but resolute. If we don't pull together, everything we fought for will be lost. As the Eternum powered up ancient weapons, the shadows outside grew darker. The Null were coming, and the galaxy's fate hinged on fragile unity, a unity that might already be slipping through their fingers. The Eternum's corridors hummed with renewed energy as the envoy team delved deeper into the Warship's vast archives. Captain Arlen led the way, his steps echoing through the cavernous halls lined with ancient technology pulsing faintly with life. Dr. Zara hovered over a console, eyes scanning streams of data coded in languages long forgotten. "There's a message here," she said, voice tight with emotion. "From the last human commander." A holographic figure flickered to life, grizzled, battle-worn, with eyes that burned with fierce determination. "I am Commander Ilara Voss," the recording began, voice crackling but resolute. "If you see this, it means the Eternum has returned to the galaxy we once protected. Know this, humanity's disappearance was no surrender, but a sacrifice." The hologram's gaze seemed to pierce the room, transcending time. "We faced the Null, beings who consume not just flesh and metal, but reality itself. Our physical forms were destroyed, but our consciousness ascended beyond the veil of existence to prepare the final stand." Captain Arlen felt a lump in his throat. The weight of that sacrifice settled on the team like a shroud. Ilara's hologram shifted, revealing star charts marked with battle sites, entire systems swallowed by darkness, timelines erased as if they never existed. "The Null do not just attack," the commander warned. "They unravel the fabric of space and time. We were forced to retreat beyond your reality, to fight in a higher dimension. But we left behind the Eternum, our sentinel, a last hope to rally you when the time came." Dr. Zara's hands trembled as she traced the holographic map. They were fighting a war on two fronts, physical and metaphysical. "We have no defense against that kind of enemy. Not yet." Arlen's jaw clenched. "Then we must find a way." Suddenly, an alert blared. The ship's external sensors detected Null tendrils creeping into the neighboring systems faster than anticipated. The dark tendrils warped space, distorting stars and swallowing light. The envoy rushed to the bridge. Outside, the void twisted and shimmered, the advance of an enemy no one truly understood. "We underestimated them," Captain Arlen admitted grimly, "and we underestimated the cost humanity paid." The Eternum activated dormant weapon systems, energy beams that warped reality, temporal disruptors that could slow time itself. Yet these weapons demanded sacrifice. They required pilots to synchronize their minds with the ship's ancient eye, a dangerous mental trial. Dr. Zara volunteered. "If humanity could face this alone, so can we. I will be the first." As she entered the neural link chamber, her form shimmered, merging with the Eternum systems. She gasped, visions flooding her mind, battles raging in dimensions she couldn't fathom, echoes of soldiers lost but not forgotten. Meanwhile, the Council's infighting continued to rage, even as the Null's shadows stretched further. But within the Eternum, something profound stirred. The legacy of a lost war, the memory of sacrifice, and the spark of hope that might yet save the galaxy. Darkness rippled across the galaxy like a spreading stain. The Null had arrived. From the observation deck of the Sentinel, Captain Arlen watched in grim silence as stars blinked out, swallowed by the Null's shadowy tendrils. Entire star systems flickered like dying candles, their light extinguished in merciless waves. Council worlds, once symbols of peace and prosperity, now trembled on the brink of annihilation. Panic surged through the Council's chambers, where factions argued furiously over strategy and survival. But the true battle was unfolding in space. The Eternum unleashed its ancient weapons, lances of reality-warping energy slicing through the Null's advancing tendrils. Galactic fleets, hastily retrofitted with human technology salvaged from the Warship's vaults, surged into formation. Battleships and fighters clashed with shadowy Null vessels that defied comprehension, warping in and out of existence with unnatural speed. Yet, the Null adapted with horrifying efficiency. Their forms dissolved and reformed, attacking not only ships but minds. Fleets found their crews plagued by nightmarish hallucinations, visions of lost loved ones, forgotten fears, and crushing despair. In the Sentinel's command center, Counselor Holly gritted her teeth. "They're attacking our will to fight as much as our ships. We must hold the line." Captain Arlen's voice was steady but tense. "The Aeternan shields won't last long if the Null keep phasing through our defenses like ghosts." Meanwhile, aboard the Aeternum, Dr. Zara remained linked to the ship's AI, her mind strained by the endless stream of cosmic warfare unfolding inside her consciousness. She sent bursts of tactical data to the fleet, guiding the counterattack with precision, born from millennia of experience. "Zara's interface is our best weapon," Arlen said. "Without her, we'd be lost." But the Null's next move was devastating. They unleashed a wave of temporal distortion. Time in affected sectors slowed, then fractured, tearing ships apart as moments stretched into eternity or collapsed in seconds. Entire squadrons vanished in bursts of static, their existence erased. In the chaos, a message crackled over encrypted channels, a desperate call from Zirax Prime. The mining colony plunged into silence weeks before. "We're under siege," came the voice of Governor Sela. "The Null have breached surface defenses. Evacuate if you can. We won't hold." The Council scrambled rescue fleets, but the Null's advance was relentless. As systems fell one after another, unity faltered. Some factions blamed others for the failing defense, old rivalries resurfacing like festering wounds. In the warship's command room, Captain Arlen addressed his team. "This isn't just a battle for territory. It's a battle for existence. We have to fight harder, or we lose everything." With grim determination, the Aeternum prepared to unleash its most potent weapon, one capable of turning the tide, but at great risk. As the Null tendrils closed in, the galaxy braced for the storm that could either destroy them all or ignite a new dawn. The Aeternum hummed with a fierce energy, corridors vibrating as ancient mechanisms powered up for a final desperate gambit. Captain Arlen stood on the bridge, eyes fixed on the swirling maelstrom of Null shadows closing in like a predator's jaws. "We're running out of time," Arlen said grimly, voice steady but heavy. "The weapon Solon warned us about, the Ecliptic Beacon, is our only hope. But activating it will drain the ship's entire power core. It's a one-shot deal." Dr. Zara, still linked to the ship's neural network, nodded, her expression pale but resolute. "The beacon will send out a pulse capable of severing the Null's connection to this dimension, at least temporarily. It's our chance to push them back." Counselor Howley's voice came over the comms, resolute. "The Council has agreed to launch coordinated strikes on the Null fleets once the beacon fires. We'll use the window to reclaim lost worlds." Arlen turned to his team. "This isn't just about technology or weapons. It's about who we are, what humanity and this galaxy are willing to fight for." The bridge crew moved with purpose, initiating the complex sequence to awaken the beacon. Ancient glyphs and glowing conduits lit the ship's interior, each step sending ripples through the fabric of space around them. Suddenly, alarms blared. The Null had penetrated the Aeternum's outer defenses, their tendrils snaking into the ship's hull. The vessel shook violently as emergency bulkheads slammed shut. "Hull breaches on decks 5 and 6, the tactical officer reported. "They're trying to take control of the ship's core." Arlen's jaw clenched. "Defensive teams, seal those breaches. We can't lose the ship now." In the Neuralink chamber, Zara's form shimmered as she fought to maintain control. The strain was immense, her mind swimming in tides of alien information and raw power. Sweat beaded on her brow as visions of the Null's devouring darkness clawed at her consciousness. Outside, fleets of Council ships engaged the Null in a desperate ballad of death. Explosions lit the void, stars blinked out, and entire squadrons were consumed by swirling shadows. Then, with a blinding pulse, the Aeternum unleashed the Ecliptic Beacon, A wave of radiant energy rippled outward, warping spacetime itself. The null shrieked, a sound that transcended sound, before their tendrils retracted, retreating into the void beyond. The galaxy seemed to hold its breath. Counselor Howley's voice crackled over the comms, filled with hope. The beacon worked. The null are withdrawing. But the victory came at a cost. The Aeternum's power core was critically damaged, systems failing one by one. Dr. Zara's connection faltered as she collapsed from the neural link chamber, gasping for air. Captain Arlen rushed to her side. "You saved us all." Zara smiled weakly. "We saved each other." The Council rallied, launching counterattacks and reclaiming worlds lost to darkness. The null had been driven back, but not defeated. As the Aeternum drifted powerless in space, the crew prepared for a long struggle ahead. Humanity's return had changed everything, but the war for the galaxy was far from over. In the silence that followed, a new determination ignited. The past had returned, carrying both scars and hope. The future was theirs to fight for. The Aeternum drifted silently through the void, its mighty engines cold, its systems darkened. The Warship, once a beacon of humanity's unparalleled might, was now a fragile monument, a reminder of the sacrifices made and the battle still to come. Captain Arlen stood on the bridge, eyes locked on the swirling stars beyond the shattered viewport. The null had retreated, but their shadow lingered, a haunting specter threatening to return with even greater fury. Around him, the crew moved with quiet determination, tending to the wounded and repairing what systems they could. Dr. Zara, recovering slowly, sat nearby, her gaze distant but hopeful. "The beacon bought us time," she said softly, "but it's not a permanent solution. The null will come back." Arlen nodded. "Then we need to be ready." Humanity's return was not just a warning. It's a promise. We will fight. Across the galaxy, the Council had transformed. The factions that once quarreled over power and suspicion now forged new alliances. The threat of the null had united them in ways no diplomacy ever could. Counselor Howley addressed a gathering of representatives from every species. "We stand at the dawn of a new era, an era where survival depends on unity, courage, and trust. Humanity's legacy has shown us the path. We must walk it together." In the weeks that followed, the Aeternum became a symbol, a rallying point for the galaxy's scattered fleets and desperate worlds. Ships once divided now sailed side by side under a common banner. The Warship's vast archives open to all, sharing humanity's forgotten knowledge and technology. Scientists, engineers, and warriors worked tirelessly, pushing the limits of understanding to forge weapons and defenses against the encroaching darkness. Yet amid the rebuilding, the mystery of the null remained. What were they? Where did they come from? And how could they be stopped permanently? In a quiet chamber deep within the Aeternum, Captain Arlen stood before a holographic star map. Points of light flickered, the known worlds, the lost worlds, and the unknown regions where the null had yet to strike. Beside him, Primarch Solon's avatar shimmered into existence. "The war is not over, Captain, but with unity and determination, it is winnable. Humanity's spirit endures." Arlen smiled, resolve burning in his eyes. "Then let's make sure the future remembers that." Outside, the stars gleamed brighter. The galaxy, scared but unbroken, was waking from a long nightmare. A new dawn had arrived.